Good morning. I'll try to save my voice. I am hoarse. I don't know why I'm hoarse. But I have to sip tea while I'm talking or I will just straight lose my voice. So I'm going to give it a minute for people to hop on. And when you hop on, say good morning. Welcome to Success Saturday with me, Lakisha. I'm so glad you're here. Today, this is the first of 4 live series talking about love languages. So welcome, because we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to start with words of affirmation. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for hopping on with me today. How was your week? Share with me how your week was. My week, I think it was good. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9. You know what I'm saying? It was a good week. I wasn't really stressed this week. I felt like I was productive and I got a lot done. So I say this was a good week for me. So I'm wondering what it was for you. I'm wondering what it was for you. I'm looking through my, it was good. Okay. I'm looking through my notes right now to make sure I got everything covered for words of affirmation. And I thought words of affirmation would be so easy. Hi, Erica. Good morning. We're talking about words of affirmation. I'm so excited about this because I know a lot about this love language from the person who's giving the love language, because my husband's love language is words of affirmation. So I got a lot to talk about. So come on in the room. Get your tea. If I sound crazy, it's because you're right. I am hoarse. My voice is, I've been hoarse for like a week. And I'm not sick or anything. I feel excellent. But I think it was Christmas in July. I did Christmas in July on my channel this week. And and I had the crazy idea to film 5 videos, batch 5 videos on top of other videos. I think last week I did like 8 videos at one time. And I didn't realize the toll that it was going to take on my voice. So I'm trying to take it easy. And if I sound like a robot, that's because I'm trying to save my throat, because today I also start Success My Way Academy. So I got to do a lot of talking today. Hi, Keisha and Troy. I think it's just Keisha, though. Hi, Keisha. And you have my same name. So good morning. My name is Lakisha, but a lot of people just call me Keisha. I go by either one. It doesn't matter. So I hope you all are having a fantabulous week. Today is Success Saturday. It's my favorite day of the week because I get to come on here and talk with you. So we're going to get started with love languages and words of affirmation. Good morning, Marva. How are you? Happy Success Saturday to you too, sister. I love it. Yeah, my voice, I am hoarse. So if I sound funny, you're right. My voice is a little bit gone, and that's why I'm trying to take it easy. And I will be sipping as I talk. I got some tea. All right. So let's get started with housekeeping. If this is your first time here on Success Saturday, welcome. My name is Lakisha. I'm a certified life coach. I have been certified since 2013, and August is my anniversary. So I will be celebrating my anniversary. Is how many years? Would that be 8 years? I believe that'd be 8 years as a life coach. I will be celebrating in August. So I'm really excited about that. Also, I am an author. I wrote a book called Try Success, It Won't Bite: How to Live Your Life Through 10 Principles of Self-Excellence. And if you go back in the series in my YouTube, I have a playlist called Success Saturday, and I break down this book in the beginning of that series. So go ahead and check that playlist out. Binge watch that playlist when you can, and you'll find out about this book. Also, you can purchase this book on Amazon. And what I love about this book is it's built like a workbook. So, you know how you get some books and they have pages and pages of writing? but nowhere to write, or they have a whole bunch of blank pages for you to write and no words. So I made sure I included graphs and places for you to fill in things. And really, I designed this book to be like a life coaching session in a book. So check out Try Success. It won't by me, Lakisha, certified professional coach. Okay. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, Anne Marie. Hi, you're from Jamaica. So nice to meet you. Oh my goodness, my girlfriend Trika is in Jamaica right now. Anne Marie, you might meet her unknowingly because she's having a ball. She's having a ball in Jamaica. I wish I was there with her and you. Okay, good morning. All right. And please make sure you hit that like button so YouTube can know that this is a video worth watching and the algorithm can attach to it and just share it with everyone. So hit that like button. Also, very important, y'all, if you have not joined the Facebook group, please join. Vicki, I don't know if you can, but if you can put a link to the Facebook group for our new people, we have a Facebook group called Success Saturday Circle. Okay, so there is where I put some good nuggets, and nuggets here are information. So you'll hear me say Chick-fil-A nuggets. You'll hear me say McDonald's nuggets. Those are I call information nuggets. All right, so you're gonna find some good nuggets over there. One thing that is attached to this. Oh, look, my girlfriend is calling me. Let me let her know I'm live. Oh, she just hung up. She must realize I'm live. Okay. um, but with the Facebook group, I put free stuff in there, free resources, daily inspiration. I have administrators there that put stuff in. You'll see LaFrancis has already put something in the Facebook group around love languages. So it is built to be a community over there on Facebook. So make sure you join our Facebook group. And over there is a love languages assessment right now. I put a free one in there. You can find them on Google, but I specifically chose this specific love language test. One, because it's easy. Some of those love language tests were long. So it's an easy test to take. You can take it while you're on here with me now and put it in the chat. If you know your love language, or if you took the test a long time ago, because your love language can change over time. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But your love language may change over time. So if you took this test a long time ago, take it again so it can be relevant for now. And then let me know in the chat what your love language is after you've taken the test. Now, your major one. Now, the test that I put in the Facebook group, the free one, has it gives you your score on all 5 love languages. So you can see where you are in all 5. Because guess what? We as humans, we have all 5 love languages. So this is not like the previous series where I'm not talking about your personality, so you're probably not interested. All 5 love languages are in everybody. So if you are with a significant other, if you have children, these love languages span across gender and age and experience. Okay. So some people say, oh, these love languages are only for men. Oh, these love languages are only for women. That is not true. Love languages is about the human love languages. There's 5 human love languages. And I'm going to tell you the origin of that in a minute. But go take that test in the Facebook group. It's called Success Saturday Circle W, I think it's with or W Lakisha, Lakisha. So if you can steal away now and go over to the Facebook group, take the test, and then put your results in the chat, that will be so much fun. And today we're talking about words of affirmation. So you may not have words of affirmation, honestly, but your kids may have words of affirmation, or your spouse or your significant other or your partner may have words of affirmation. Your mom may have words of affirmation. Your siblings may have words of affirmation. So this is important this is, to me, is information, not just for people who actually give, who actually receive love through words of affirmation, but also how to give love through words of affirmation is super important. Thank you, Vicki. She found it. So Vicki put the Facebook link in the chat. So go ahead on over there. Make sure you join the Facebook group for more information, because I do give out a lot of information over there. My administrators put a lot of information in that Facebook group, and we just have fun and a good time. All right. And I'm so excited. Success My Way Academy. I need a drink. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm telling you, my throat is all over the place. Success My Way Academy is starting today. Oh, this is cohort 4. This is my 4th cohort of Success My Way Academy. It will be a year that I have been doing these academy in September. September marked 1 year of Success My Way Academy. I can't believe it's unbelievable, and I'm so excited. So that starts today. So I'll probably hop off like 5 minutes early. If someone, Vicky or someone, hi, Mama Michelle. Hi, how are you? I'm a little hoarse, so that's why I sound a little different. If you can hop on over, I'm sorry, if you could tell me when it's 5 minutes, when it's 10:25. If somebody could tell me when it's 10:25, that would be great because I got to hop on over at 10:30. Okay. All right, great. Let's get started. So usually I tell people to bring a piece of paper, bring a journal, bring a planner, just a pen and a paper, just something to write with and something to write on, okay? Because I'm going to be giving out a lot of nuggets and you may want to write these things down. All right, so let's start with love languages and what is it and where it's come from. Write in the chat, who already knows what love languages are? Who has already studied it? Now, I feel very comfortable talking about love languages. This is not a new concept. Love languages have been out for a long time. Dr. Gary Chapman, that's his name, Dr. Gary Chapman. He is a counselor, a relationship counselor, a very seasoned relationship counselor. And here's the origin of the whole love languages. I don't know who knows the origin of whole love languages. You know, I'm the type person, I don't just like to do things. I like to study the origin of them. So anyway, so Dr. Gary Chapman has been a relationship coach for a very, very long time, right? And he noticed in his sessions that when couples were having trouble, they would say, you make me feel this, or I don't feel love because you don't do this. And over time, over the years, he noticed a pattern. So what I think was very smart of him, he went back over his 10 or so years, or however many years, of notes that he was taking on his clients. And he was wondering if there were patterns in the way people wanted to be loved. And guess what? He found those patterns. So, I'm sorry, people are like responded to the text. So he actually said that over the years, he's tried to find a 6th love language, number 6. He said he can't really find number 6. He said every time somebody tells him a love language, it fits in one of these 5 categories. So y'all, what are the 5 categories? You ready? Y'all ready to take notes? Put an emoji in the chat if you're with me, okay? I'm gonna need y'all to talk with me because you know my throat is hurting. I'm gonna need y'all to help me talk, okay? Okay, so I want to make sure I get them right. Let me see if I can memorize them because I've been studying this for a while. So the 5 love languages, without looking at my notes, I'm trying to do this without looking at my notes. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, which we're going to talk about today, acts of service. So you want to be shown love by somebody serving you in some kind of way, taking care of you. The next one is quality time. Quality time. You want someone to show you love by just spending time, uninterrupted time, not being on the phone, okay? Not on the phone, but uninterrupted time with someone. The 4th one is physical touch. Physical touch is just what it says, but it's more than just sex. It is, excuse me. It is, it's more than just sex. It's like, I'm going to give you a hug, or I'm going to hold your hand in public, or you ever see somebody that like to just rub your shoulders. That's how they're showing you love. And that's how they want to be shown love, is through physical touch. So that one is a deep one because people think it's one thing and it's really way more vast than that. And then the last one, I always forget the last one. What is the last one? I said Words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and oh shoot, now I gotta look at my notes. I tried, y'all. I tried. Receiving gifts. Why do I always forget receiving gifts? Maybe because it's one of my lowest ones. Receiving gifts. Hey, Kim, welcome. Good morning. We're going over all 5 of the love languages before I break down just words, parse out words of affirmation. Receiving gifts. Thank you, Mom. You know what? I always forget receiving gifts, and I think it's because it's one of my least ones. Because for me, I don't need you to show me love by necessarily giving me gifts. I mean, I like gifts, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel validated with love with a gift because I could buy my own stuff. That's how I am. But for other people, like my 18-year-old who's about to be 19, his birthday is next week. But my 18-year-old, his primary love language is receiving gifts. And that's very important to him. And I know this. And you're like, Lakisha, how do you know your children's love language? Because Dr. Gary Chapman actually has books. He has love languages, and then he has love languages for children. And they have a nice little cute little test that you can give kids to find out what their love languages are. So, of course, me, the life coach, I gave the love language test to all my children. And I know my children's love languages. I don't know my 6-year-old's love language yet. I haven't given him the test yet, but I can probably try to guess his because he's always like, Mommy, play with me. So his is probably quality time. Kim says same. I already buy what I like. Yeah. So Kim, yours may be something different. And if you just joined us, I put a free love language test in the Facebook group. Go to the Facebook group. Take the love language test and then put it in the chat. I want to see what your love language is. And tell me your primary one. Don't put all of them. The test that I put in the Facebook group is going to show you all the percentages. So it might say 30% words of affirmation, 5% gifts. Don't tell me all the percentages. Just tell me your main one. And you might have a main 2 if you have a tie. I remember when I first took this test, I had a tie in 4 areas. I was complex. I call myself complex. I was like, why I got a tie in 4 areas in this test? I was like, I feel sorry for my husband because I got all 4 of these is my major love language. What you all do? Oh my gosh. So but then I took the test. I've taken this test about 3 times in my life. Yours is acts of service, Kim. Okay, good. We're going to parse out acts of service later. Marva's acts of service too. Okay, that's good. If you want to know mine is quality time. And I believe 3 out of my 4 children are quality time. But my husband's is words of affirmation. So that's why I'm talking about this today. And I can tell you what I do to make sure I affirm his love language. And that's another thing. The whole concept is that you have a love language that you prefer to get. But in terms of giving love language, we tend to give our own love language to other people. For example, my love language is quality time. So to show other people love, and not understanding their love language, I'm going to give other people quality time because my love language is quality time. So I'm just going to give it to everybody, quality time. But it's not like that. Dr. Chapman says, even though your love language may be quality time, your significant other, your best friend, your kids, their love language might be gifts. So you have to study the love language of the significant people in your lives and try to give them their love language. Don't give them your love language. They're not interested in yours. Your love language doesn't validate them. And that's what we tend to do. If I like getting gifts, I'm going to give gifts. If I like acts of service, I'm going to give acts of service. But there's a whole problem with that acts of service, people. Because you might spend a lot of time giving somebody an act of service that is not their love language. And so you're mad because you spent all this time showing them you care and they're not validated by it. So this is important. 5 love languages, you have to know that this this information is good for everybody. Everybody has a bit of all 5 in them, unless your score is 0 on the test. If you take that test and you have a score of 0, then you know that's not one of yours. But usually when you take the test, you have some percentages in all of these. So you have a bit of all of them, and your significant other and your children and your siblings, everybody, they all have some of this in them. So just to tell you my experience, this was a revelation for my marriage. When I took the test, I gave a test to my husband. We both took the test. I was like, oh, I did not know. And my husband's love language changed over time as well. His primary love language was physical touch. And statistics show most men's love language is physical touch. But over time, his major love language changed. Now, physical touch is still there, but it changed to words of affirmation. So not only do you have to do check-ins with your significant other, because their love language may change as you grow and as you get more experiences together, as you grow together in a relationship with someone, their love language may change. And so you got to stay on top of it. Okay. All right. So physical touch is yours, Vicky. Okay, that's good. And that's another thing. People have missed that only men have physical touch as their main one. That is so not true. Look, we got Vicky right here. She's a woman, and her main love language is physical touch. So I can imagine Vicky gives physical touch to her children, to her significant others. Vicky's probably always touching them, holding their hands, giving them hugs, because she's giving them her love language. But the question is, Vicky, do you know your kids' love languages? Like for my son, CJ, whose main thing is gifts. Like, he doesn't care about spending quality time with mommy. He don't care. But if I go on Amazon and buy him something for his games, oh my gosh, he thinks mommy loves him so much. So how I work this out is that I give him quality time and I buy him a gift. So it's like an exchange. So it's just an example, y'all. All right, words of affirmation is where we are. You may have a spouse or a child or a partner or anyone with a words of affirmation as their main one. And Vicky said, no, I don't. Oh, you don't know your kids. Yeah, Vicky, give your kids the test in the Facebook group to find out their love language, because that's very important. It builds your relationship with them. So words of affirmation is the love language to me that is very powerful. People are like, oh, you just like me to say words. No, the Bible said life and death is in the power of the tongue. Let me tell you something about words. Words can kill somebody. You're talking about lowering somebody's self-esteem. There's one surefire way to do it, and that's with words. So we're going to talk about what people who have words of affirmation need. Because if your love language is not words of affirmation, but you're dealing with somebody who does, you can't just say anything to them because they really hone in words. Somebody I think that may have a strong words of affirmation love language is Cardi B. I know you're like, Lakisha, what? But I look at Cardi B. Cardi B, when she first became famous, she responded to text. She got in a fight with Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj said something about her child on Twitter. And then recently, I just watched her do a live with Normani. They have a new song out. The video was fire. Oh my God, I just saw the video. But the way Cardi B was carefully giving Normani like words of praise, like I can tell Cardi B just doesn't talk. She talks purposefully. So she acts as if her primary love language is words. She reacts strongly to words. So you may have somebody like that in your life. They're very sensitive to words. These are the people that get mad at you and you be like, what did I do? Because you said something that you probably didn't realize that they latched on to. Those people are probably words of affirmation people. And just like good words and positive words can really help people who have words of affirmation, they're super hurt by bad words. So if your significant other or your children have words of affirmation as their primary love language, they 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 they're validated, or they're disempowered by words that you say. Okay. So for example, you may have a child or significant other that needs you to say, I love you. You probably say, some of you are probably on here, you'll be like, my husband never says I love you to me. Well, that means words of affirmation probably be your number two if it's not your number one. And you need to hear that validation, right? Even when we talk to God, like you ever hear people say, God spoke to me and he said, and I love when I talk to God. That's words. Like first of all, God's going to give you your love language. So God knows you. How do you know God is talking to you? He's speaking to you through your love language, because he built you. He built you to have your love language. So I love that. So, but getting back to like words of service, and I'm looking at my notes now, like the people with words of affirmation like to hear positive things, like, and they don't like fake. Let me tell you something. If somebody has words of affirmation, don't give them fake words to appease them. They know when you're being condescending. They know when you're just trying to appease them. And please, y'all, please don't do this. Do not weaponize the knowledge that you have about your spouse, or to your children, about your children. If you know their love language is words of affirmation, don't use it against them. That's the psychology we do sometimes. We use this type of personal information about people to judge them. Don't do that, because that's the worst thing. You can turn this very positive thing into something negative real fast if you do that. They'll say, I know your love language acts as service, and I'm not giving you no service today. Don't weaponize it. That's a surefire way to not be in a relationship at all. So I want to say that too. That's very important. So with words of affirmation, use it in a positive way. I want to give you an example. Like my husband, I know he's big on words. He holds on to words for a long time. People with words of affirmation, don't tell them something, because they're going to regurgitate it back to you line by line. Okay. They're going to remember all the words you said, and you're going to be like, I didn't say that. They know what you said, because they harbored it and they thought about it over and over. So be intentional when you are you're speaking to someone who you know has words of affirmation as their primary way of validation. That means I am validated by you when you say I'm beautiful. How many people on here like that? How many people? Words of affirmation is not my favorite, but when my husband tells me I'm beautiful, I'm just like on cloud nine. I'm on cloud nine. I love when he tells me that. So tell people that they're beautiful. If you have a child who has words of affirmation, when you see them, say, oh, I like that dress you have on. Like, be real. Tell them you miss them when they're away. Oh my gosh, look at you. I have missed you. Just look them in their face. And it may be so awkward, but say, I have missed you so much. People who don't have words of affirmation, you don't understand the power of your words. If words of affirmation is not your primary love language, it's still powerful. It's powerful, period. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. I actually wrote down some Bible scriptures. About words, because I was like, words are important whether it's your primary love language or not. They're just important, right? So Proverbs 16:24 says, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul, healthy for the body. Oh, I love that. This is Proverbs 16:24. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul, and healthy for the body. Here's another one, Proverbs 18:4. I hope you have your notes and you're taking these down. You could just rewind. Proverbs 18:4 says, A person's words can be life-giving water. Oh my goodness. Your words are like life-giving water. Words of true wisdom are refreshing as a bubbling brook. Look how powerful that is, y'all. That's just so powerful. Words, oh, this is Proverbs 18 and 20. Words satisfy the soul as food satisfies the stomach. Wait a minute. Pause. I gotta read that again. Words satisfy the soul as food satisfies the stomach. You know, when you don't give a person who's validated by words, positive words, and often, they're starving. You put your people on a love starve when you know their primary love language is words of affirmation and you don't give it to them often. People with words of affirmation, they don't need you to say, I love you 1 or 2 times. They need you to say, I love you every day. Every day. My husband, words of affirmation. Every day we say we love each other. I don't think there's been a day that I haven't told my husband I love him. Now it's work for me. It's work because my primary love language is not words. But I want to invest in our relationship. So it's important to me to learn how to love my husband. It's important to me to learn how to love my children. And so if that means I have to step out my own comfort zone and tell my kids that I love them and they're beautiful and I'm proud of them, then that's what I'm going to do because that's what's necessary. Relationships are work. I know a lot of people who sit back, cross their legs, and think they're just supposed to receive in a relationship. And they have problems in their relationship too at the same time. Most people who want to sit back and receive and not want to take the time to give, they have relationship problems because relationship is an ebb and flow. It's a give and take. So if my love language is not words of affirmation, I want to give words of affirmation. And if my love language is quality time, I want my spouse to give me quality time. I don't need words. I love the words, but they're not as validating as the quality time. So put a comment in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. I see a couple people put their love languages in the chat. Go ahead and put your love languages in the chat. I need y'all to talk to me today. My throat, that's why I sound crazy. My throat is off. All right. A few other things that I want to talk to you about before I talk to you what we're going to talk about next. Here's some prompts. I'm going to give you some prompts that you can use if words are hard for you to give to someone else. You can use prompts. There are plenty of words of affirmation prompts online. I just got these offline. So one prompt example is, I feel love when you, in this fill in the blank. So like my husband, sometimes I call my husband my king. Sometimes I call him my hero. And I tell him, I feel loved when I feel protected by you. And when I tell you, he looks like a Cheshire cat. He looks like a Cheshire cat. When I give him words of affirmation, he's just a blushing and a smiling. And it's not coming from a fake place. Like that's what I really feel about my husband. And my personality is a commander. I don't really need anybody to take care of me. You see what I'm saying? But I like that I feel safe with my husband. Sometimes you just need to feel safe with the people who are around you the most. And my husband makes me feel safe. And I make sure I take the time to tell him that out of my mouth, looking him in his face. But you don't have to always look at people in the face with words of affirmation. You know, you can just text them. I mean, people with words of affirmation, they text. And that's how you know somebody probably have words of affirmation. They do a lot of texting. They have a lot of talking through text. They want to explain themselves through the text. So that's another way you can say, this person might need a bit of words of affirmation because they like to text all the time. Um, you can say, here's another prompt. You can say, I appreciate when you, and then fill in the blank. I so appreciate when you help me find my keys when I'm struggling instead of just sitting there watching me go back and forth. I really appreciate that because when I'm disheveled, I can't think straight. I need some help. So I appreciate you when you help me find my keys. And that's what I love about words of affirmation. It's a very simple way to show love. I mean, it's a free 99 way to show somebody love. Okay. And so it's a simple way to show somebody love. And my husband's a simple man. He doesn't require much. And so I'm not going to deprive him of the simple. That's the least I can do is say something nice, right? You can say, I'm so proud of you when you, or that was a fantastic meal. Oh my goodness, what seasonings did you use in that? Or, you know what? You make loving you so easy. I just love when you blank. So these are just some examples. And with your kids, let's talk about your children. If you have children who have words of affirmation, they like words. So give them a card. One thing that I do with my kids on every Valentine's Day, I give all my kids a card. Now, it's not their major love language, but I think all kids just like to hear kind words from their parents because we hardly ever say kind words. You know what I'm saying? We always fussing. So once in a while, just make a card or buy a card from Dollar Tree for $1 and just say, you know what, as your mom, I'm so blessed to have you in my life. I'm sorry, I'm drinking this tea while I'm talking. So yeah, just give your kid a card or send your children. Children love texts. If they have phones, send them a text. Always tell your kids you love them. I need to do better with that. I don't always tell my kids I love them, but I'm working on being better with that. So just tell your kids you love them. My kids, I love my kids so much. Like they're the center of my earth, and I'll do anything for them. And I hurt somebody over my kids. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I tell my kids that I'll be like, "Mommy loves you so much, and if anybody try to hurt you, that's gonna be a sad day for them on this earth." Okay? They be like, "Okay, mommy." So I love my children. And so if you feel the love, sometimes you got to say it. Sometimes we can feel it, but we don't say it. I don't care if your kids are 30 and 40. My mom calls me. She calls me and she says, I love you every time she hangs up. And I'm 45 and I love it. I love when my mom tells me she loves me and I'm 45. So, if your kids are young, they really need you to say it to them. Put a note in their lunchbox. A lot of kids have been out of school, but what if you, like, when they went back to school, make sure you put a note on their lunchbox or put a sticky note on their door while they're asleep. So in the morning when they wake up, they got a sticky note, or in the bathroom. I'm so proud of you. Have a good day at school today. Put on a sticky note and stick it in the bathroom on the mirror. Oh my gosh. If I was a child, I would feel so validated if my parents did that. And one thing that I always do, kids love when you brag about them in front of other people, especially if their love language is words of affirmation, because it affirms them. It affirms them that they're not a secret, that you're not disappointed in them. So they hear their parents bragging about them to other people is very affirming. So brag about your kids in front of your kids. That will affirm them. All right, so let me see the time. Okay, we got a nice bit of time. So any other prompts? Can you put some prompts in the chat that you may say? What are some other prompts that you can think of that you can say to somebody to give them words of affirmation? Just put those in the chat. And with love languages, I have here in my notes that Love languages were designed to help people express love in the most meaningful way. So, giving somebody those words is not just fluff. Don't fake it. You have to give them those words in the most meaningful way. So if you're not a person, if you're a hothead, if you blow up when you're mad and you say all kind of things when you're mad, and then you want to go back and apologize after you said those things, that may be fine for other people, but for people with words of affirmation, it's very hard to recover when you have badgered them with your words. Okay. So you got to be intentional with your words. Even when you're mad, you have to have some emotional regulation. Yes, that's a word. That's a word. Emotional regulation is a word. You have to have some emotional regulation with it. Okay. And even when you're mad, not say things like, I hate you and all this stuff. Because I don't care if I could say I love you every day to my husband, but if I get into an argument with my husband and I tell him I hate him, or I want a divorce, or I wish we never got married, how many I loved you after that do I have to make up for the horrible, horrible thing I did to devalue him? How many times am I going to have to say I love you after that? A million. A million. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you that, like, words are important. So if you, this is for if you have a partner or a significant other. Okay, this fun stuff. I've been kind of serious, but here's something fun. I found a 30-day words of affirmation challenge showing y'all. The problem is they said they were going to send me, it's a free challenge. They said they're going to send it to me in my email, but I haven't gotten it yet. As soon as I get to this 30-day words of affirmation challenge, I'm going to put it in the Facebook group. So make sure you're part of the Facebook group, and I'll put it in the Facebook group. But I thought that was neat. I was like, oh, what's the 30-day words of affirmation challenge? I wouldn't mind doing that. And then I found some dating ideas with your significant other. And you can modify this for kids, but some dating ideas with your significant others who have words of affirmation. So if you want to write this down, I got 5 dating ideas. Okay. All right. So the first dating idea, recreate your first date. I thought that was so cool. Recreate your first date. I mean, what was your first date with your significant other or partner? And recreate it. And go back and talk about how it was then and talk about how it was now. Like all that talking, words of affirmation, people just gonna soak that on up. They're gonna soak that on up. The second dating idea to do if you have a significant other with words of affirmation is play relationship games. You know, all these games they got out here. Now these games are pretty expensive though. If you find some cheap ones online, I found not necessarily a game, but I found a list of questions to ask your spouse, like fun questions to get to know your spouse a little better. So me and my husband, we went out, we had a date, and talking over the food, I break out these questions and we start answering them and learning more about each other, just with this list of questions, but the words of affirmation, we're talking. And, you know, so if you go on a date with someone, just have like them questions in your back pocket. You know what I'm saying? If the talking gets stale, you can say, I have some questions, this fun little game you want to play, you know, and play that. All right. Number 3, couples challenges. People with words of affirmation, they love couples challenges. Let's play a game as a couple. If we got to be a team, like those escape rooms, like take them to an escape room and try to figure out how to get, and they got a movie out too. That movie looks like it's gonna be real good. But you know, take them out and see that and solve something together. That's fun. Number 4, scavenger hunt games. Play scavenger hunt, like when you have to talk out, like, where can we find this? Where is this gonna be? And then lastly, simple dinner and a movie. Dinner and a movie, because you talk over dinner, but then you can, or you go to the movie first, because that's what me and my husband do. We usually do the movie first and then dinner afterwards because the movie gives you stuff to talk about. And there you go with the words. You get to talking. So I would suggest instead of dinner first, then the movie, with the words of affirmation person, flip it and do the movie first and then dinner. So comment below if this is helping you. Like, y'all pretty quiet out there. I don't know if this is helping you, or maybe you're just listening or taking some notes and put some nuggets in your paper, but let me know if this is helpful for you. All right. And the last thing I want to go over is some don'ts. Now, I've been telling you, like, I've been saying what not to do too. So I've been going back and forth. But here's some more. Like, I can't reiterate enough. Don't fake your words, because that causes people with words of affirmation not to trust you. And please don't be a liar, because they're really not going to trust anything you say. And they're not going to feel validated, because they're going to think even when you being nice, you lying. So yeah, just try to be as authentic as you can with your words without faking it. Okay. And it says, don't affirm with no reason. Like, don't just be like, hey, look at today. Hey, look at today. And they're looking like, I just woke up. I got my pajamas on. Like, don't just affirm for no reason. It has to be, like I said, love languages have to be meaningful. Make sure it's meaningful. And guess what? Give it to everybody. Give words of affirmation to everybody. Everybody has a bit of words of affirmation in themselves. So just give it to everybody. Even if their love language is not words of affirmation. Nobody minds like kind words if they're authentic. Now, if they fake, they're going to tell you to get out their face. But if they're authentic and real, yes. And I like this. Focus on the small things. Words of affirmation is about daily, everyday, regular, routinely giving people those words, not just not just giving out words when there's something big. It's the little things. It's like a slow drip, 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 drip. Every day, give some affirmation to somebody every day. Drip, slow drip, kind, meaningful, authentic, simple. Every day my husband goes out to work, I tell him I love him every day. I don't want anything to happen to him and he not knows I love him. So every day he goes out to work. Love you. Love you. That takes a nanosecond. A nanosecond a day keeps divorce away. That's good. A nanosecond a day keeps divorce away. I give my husband a nanosecond of some good words. Love you. And I give him a kiss too, because his love language is still physical touch. Atia said, great ideas. Hi, Atia. Good to see you. Thank you. All right. I am done with words of affirmation. Which one should I do next week? I'm gonna let y'all tell me. Which love language should I do next week? Should I do acts of service? Should I do physical touch? Should I do receiving gifts? Or should I do oh heck, I keep forgetting. Jeez. Why do I keep forgetting, y'all? I always get 4 of them. Quality time. Jeez. All right. Should I do quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, or physical touch? What should I do next week? I'm going to let y'all tell me. Marva says, after 38 years, if I did some of this, my hubby would think something was up. Well, that's a good thing, Marva. Sometimes after 38 years, you need to stir it up and spice it up. Okay, 35 years, let's spice it up. Or you could just have I just didn't start doing this with my husband. We both took the test. Give your spouse the test. Y'all both take the test. I gave my husband the test, and we had taken it when we were younger, because we've been married 23 years. So we had take the test when we was younger, but I gave him the test recently. And I was like, oh my gosh, your love language changed. I looked at him, I was like, this was like not just recent. This was like maybe 2 years ago. But I was like, oh, it's changed over time. And he was like, yeah, it has changed, you know? So take the test after 38 years. I'm sure your husband and you have probably changed if you've taken it years ago. All right, Marva says she wants me to do quality time. Now, quality time is my love language, so I have some personal experience with that. So I can do quality time. If there isn't any other suggestions, I'll go with quality time with Tia next week. Okay? All right. So it's 10:20. I'm going to get off early so I can grab a bite to eat and sip some more tea for my throat and get ready for Success My Way Academy. But before I go, y'all know what I'm about to say. Have a wonderful Saturday. Today is Self-Love Saturday. Go out and do something lovely for yourself. Get your nails done, get your feet done, go shopping, curl up with a blanket and a book, watch some Christmas movies, which that's what I want to do because it's Christmas in July on Hallmark Channel. Just do something for yourself. Go for a walk. They said it's about to rain here, but it's sunny now. So you can get out real quick if you're on the East Coast because the rain is coming. But enjoy yourselves today. And next week, tell friends to come. If every one of you bring one more person, then we can spread the love languages, okay? Spread the love languages. So bring somebody else next week. Tell your spouse about it. Have your spouse watch next week, especially if their love language is quality time. Give that test to your spouse and find a kitty test. They got kitty tests somewhere. Give the test to your children. And let them hear this video. Let them listen in next week as we talk about love languages, because this is about love and it's about relationships. That means everybody can benefit from this information. All right. All right. Thank you. You are so welcome, Mama Davis. Thank y'all. I just love y'all so much for coming on with me every Saturday. I appreciate you. And until next time, have a great day, friends. Bye now.